Yo, what's buck everybody? We're back again on Who Created Krump, the series. I am President Krump, you are the Krump Nation, and this is Krump Inc. Let's get right into it. Who created Krump? So many things to tell you. How much time you got? So why did I leave the industry? I left the industry because, number one, it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. You're young, you're very impressionable. You go from not having anything to now this movie comes out, Rise, which made us sensations in a way. People were looking for Krump. People were looking for the hottest thing, which was Krump because of the Rise movie. Where does that go to? It goes straight to the industry. They're looking for the dancers. They want the dancers in their videos. They want the dancers to choreograph. So me and Little C were the first ones to step into that pathway. The industry did things way differently. Now I've put out some work in the industry like 17 years ago. Brooke Valentine girl fight, I worked on that with Little C. He was the co-choreographer as well. I worked on Christina Milian's Dip It Low. I've worked with Beyonce, I've worked with Usher, I've worked with Madonna, I've worked with Taylor Swift. I've worked with everybody. So it's not much that I didn't experience. I really didn't like the tour idea because I want to be at home. I didn't like flying on planes. So I left because I didn't have that satisfaction. Hollywood is a different thing. The industry is a different thing. You might think people are nice. You might think that people are down to earth because they talk smart and they're giving you opportunities. It's just a bunch of ass kissing. It's just a bunch of ass kissing and people trying to get over. It's a big old high school like scam. This is from my experience. Yes, I did work, but through those jobs, it taught me things like, oh, people change when it comes down to money. Now, I never had any money because I'm coming from poverty. So this is my first opportunity of getting my hands on a bag. And I'm starting to see people change. I'm like, this is crazy. How can people survive and exist here? So fake. I didn't like the industry. I got blackballed from the industry. I'll tell you, this is a true story. Famous choreographer, her name is Fatima. She was the choreographer for that Brooke Valentine's girl fight. She hired us. We had been working in the industry, me and Lil C, our team, we're building the moves, and we're working on this, we're workshopping this choreo. You're not gonna believe this story, but I gotta tell you anyway. Working on a choreo. I think I did like 2-3 days of rehearsal, so it was getting into a flow. You know, we worked with Brooke a little bit, and we was teaching her certain moves, and it was this conversation. Like, we were choreographing the video. It was for sure. Fatima was approving the moves, but we were choreographing the video. And she just basically said, she's just gonna take credit for everything. Like, our names aren't gonna be anywhere. So that was like the first red flag for me. Like, well, we're making up the moves. I didn't understand how the industry worked. So I'm like, we're making up the moves. Shouldn't we get some credit? It was basically like, we should be privileged that we're doing this with Fatima. And she was a big name. And I don't expect to come in and get to the top. I didn't know what to think. I was just like, well, we're making up the dance moves. You should tell everybody that we made up the dance moves and we all worked on this together. But once again, the industry does not work like that. After doing job after job after job, and it kind of being the same thing. Like somebody's always doing something tricky, and you gotta thank the choreographers, and people are really not looking out for you. The same type of people we're getting. It's like cliques in groups. Like real high school, even in the higher ups, real high school, real petty. So I left because I didn't like it. That's number one. That's just my own personal bad taste in my mouth, even though I was working in the industry. But my story about the industry is different because of this event. So at the time, I was being sponsored by my homie Buck Wild. Buck Wild is a crumper. Now, he had hookups with this clothing line called Miyoshi, and he wanted to hook me up with some clothes. So I went to the warehouse. He laced me. He hooked me up. He was like, I want to sponsor you. He was trying to do business with me. And these are dudes I have been knowing for years. I'm like, oh man, free clothes, cool. And these clothes were tight. You see me in these clothes on the Krump 101 DVDs, on some of the Krump King DVDs. I was wearing the clothes because he gave me a box, like boxes. And I had boxes in my closet. I put on these pants. I tried them on. I remember trying them on at the warehouse. I was like, okay, I'm going to take these. Well, this particular day I'm talking about, I woke up and I read the word. because I was in between. I was in between church, like in and out, trying to figure out, am I really going to walk this walk? So I was reading the word, and I was reading, I believe it says, blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the ungodly. I read this scripture. I'm like, okay, but blessed is the man. I really don't know what it means, but it was talking about where you're at. Like, you're blessed if you're not around this type of stuff. And I'm just like, it kind of sounds like the type of stuff I'm doing right now. So what should I do? And it was like, blessed is the man who doesn't sit in the seat of the scornful, people that mock God. People be mocking God, acting like they all. I did not know this stuff was real, but I saw it happen. And I'm feeling all types of disturbed looking at the scripture. And I was meditating on it like, dang. So am I not blessed? What am I doing wrong? I was always like trying to figure out which way to go. I get to the freaking rehearsal. I go to the bathroom because I used to get so nervous. I have to go to the bathroom. So I go in there, we're working a little bit. I got to go to the bathroom. My pants, the Miyoshi pants that the homie Buck Wild gave me. I do not know if this was on there before, but the same verse I read was written on my right leg. It was like 3 verses, the exact same thing. I put the pants on. I wasn't even paying attention, I guess. But when I pulled my pants up, I'm like, I start turning around like, blessed is the man who doesn't walk in the counsel of the ungodly. Are you serious? And it's written in gold letters. Now, the thread was gold. Like, I had a sensation come over my body. It was like I was excited, I was scared, and I had urgency to get out, to completely get out. And I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here. Even though this looks like success and this made me seem crazy, nobody knows I read this scripture. Nobody knows the experience I'm having with this scripture being written on my pants. The box of clothing that my homie gave me. It was a lot of pants, but I picked these particular ones, and I used to wear big shirts like all the way down. So my shirt was probably covering it. I get back out to the rehearsal, and we're still working on the stuff like as usual, and my energy is gone. I wasn't even a person. I was just a blob sitting there like, I felt like I had already left. My insides are going crazy. So we're doing the moves, and I'm kind of out of it. I'm going to quit. I quit on the spot. I told Fatima, I gotta go. When I told Fatima that I had to go, she said something strange. It was almost like people that are in a certain position think like they have this power over you when they don't get what they want, or when it comes to you messing with people's money. Now, I agree. It was probably an immature, impulsive decision. I'm young. Of course, everything I'm doing is impulsive, but what are you supposed to do when something like this is bothering you? So I told her I had to go, I had to quit, and I'm not coming back. The words were on the lines of, you'll never work in this industry again. I was known as the fanatic, the crazy Christian boy. As everybody who follows God, we get labeled as crazy, and we don't have any sins, and we're supposed to bow down. So I went through all of that, and I got blackballed. I don't know if Fatima tried to blackball me, but people will try to blackball you. I got blackballed. I used to go to auditions after that, and it was like, oh, that's Tighteyex. Don't work with him because, he's a spiritual spook. And I got that reputation. Nobody would work with me because I walked off a job, and we're supposed to be Fatima's sidekick, co-choreographers, and we're supposed to ride this wave and become the next whatever. That was probably cool with somebody like Lil C, probably his dream. Wasn't my dream, especially not when I'm reading the word and I'm like, I know these people are not godly. Hollywood is not godly. It's more godly now than ever before. I mean, you have faith-based films, but otherwise it was sex, money, die, die, die. That's all it is. As impressionable as I was as a young man, I had this other side. Like what do you do when you're out there working in the industry? I'm not saying you can't work in the industry, but I had to go. I'm sure you're seeing a pattern on why I make certain decisions. Because if God is really speaking to you, telling you to do something, what you gonna do? People don't even believe that God is real, first of all, so it sounds like nonsense. I can tell you, yeah, God spoke to me. He told me to do this. How did he tell you? Through these scriptures. Man wrote the Bible. Like, man does everything. You're riding a car that's man-made. Don't be stupid. When she said, I would never work in the industry again, I really didn't understand the weight of those words. Like, Okay, I know this is crazy, but I'll never. How much power do you think you have? It was pretty powerful, but because of the success of Rise, you really couldn't hold it down. So at the NAACP Awards, Rise, we had a performance with the cast of Rise. So we had the drums, the African drums, they was beating on the drums, and we was getting off. This is years after Fatima told me I would never work in the industry again. This is why I have confidence in God. If God is for you, bro, can't nobody do nothing. I'm at the NAACP. They all of a sudden give me a freestyle out of everybody. I get the longest freestyle, like the last freestyle. Fatima is the choreographer or overseer of this project. So she had to watch me. She didn't speak to me because, I don't even know if she remembered what she said, but she didn't speak to me. It was just like, I'm here. What can you do? Miss Blackball, I will never work in the industry again. After you experience something like that and you got to watch me get off, and I'm getting off on her, and like in my heart, I'm getting off because, yeah, you tried to stop me and block me from getting here. But once again, if God is for you, he will show it. That was one of the things that gave me confidence. Like, okay, even if I don't work in the industry, I can still make it. After this incident of me just up and taking off, I took off, I quit the job, I left the video. This is after we made up the moves. And I haven't even watched the video. I don't know if they even used the moves that we made up in there because it was a whole thing. So Little C was like, man, what are you doing? Like, you're committing career suicide. Chaz, you're so stupid. You gotta stop being so impulsive. What's up with this God stuff? There you go, being crazy again. And I had to take it. I could have handled it way better. But that was 2 times, same scripture, one day. And it was written on my pants and I didn't know how it got there. So yeah, I took the first train smoking. I got out. I'd rather be broke than to be sitting somewhere where God told me 2 times today, do not sit. And I left. And I struggle with, how can I work in the industry? I can't just leave the industry as a whole, but I'm not the one that said I wanted to be blackballed. I didn't want to work this job anymore. I didn't know. I had to get out, start over, start fresh. So in a nutshell, that's why I left. But I did work in the industry. I took my crew on America's Best Dance Crew, Street Kingdom, ABDC. We were up there, but we were up there representing what we represented. And even in that show, I was known as the crazy Christian boy because when we would get to the bottom, we walk by faith and not by sight. Don't say... I'm like, yo, you really can't say nothing about God around here. This must be evil. So I saw the evils of the industry. The industry is evil, at least what I experienced. It's not about God. It's not even about helping people. People are trying to get that bread and they're willing to do whatever to get it. And people, they come from around the world to earn that spotlight in the video. They're going to be doing that for 19 years. They still doing the same thing, trying to get that one choreographer position, trying to choreograph that movie. They running laps like hamster wheels. Nah, couldn't do it. So I had to leave. I left at the height. Me and Lil C was working on Christina Milian's Dip It Low. I actually did some of the choreo with the dancer and with Christina in that video. So we were working our way up, and then I tanked my whole career because of 2 instances of a scripture. It sounds wild and crazy. Now that I think about it, man, I must have been crazy. That's crazy to do when you could have had a bright career. I could have been the next choreographer, It's like, man, F that. That's stupid. What value does that have? You got these type of people. So the industry is evil and people want this persona. So they pride themselves on having industry jobs and they bring it. People used to bring their industry jobs. Like, say if a crumper gets tight and goes and works for the industry, then you come back and you start looking down on everybody, talking about everybody. Like, yeah, I was with this person. It's like, and who is this? Remember some crumpers, one of the crumpers' name was Riot. He was working with T-Pain, and then another Crush was working with Lil Wayne. And these Negroes are trying to come back and tell me what Lil Wayne and T-Pain had to say about Krump. I'm like, you guys are just young and stupid. Very impressionable, little money, little power, bow down. That's what the industry is about. And if you don't give them what they want, they will try to take you out. That's the operation. They are not nice, godly people. Yeah, the videos look real nice. Majority of dancers are complaining as they work these jobs that they thanking God for, and you're so nice. They're complaining the whole way through because people are fake. Nobody thought it was a good idea for me to leave the way I did. But once again, am I doing this for them, or am I doing this for myself? I was already considered crazy, been kicked out of churches. I'm used to being kicked out of places. I'm just experiencing things on the fly, and I'm becoming immune to it because it always happens. So I got ridiculed for it. I became known as the crazy fanatic church boy who was trying to bring religion into Krump and make everybody's careers go down because I'm just a Jesus freak. So I got exiled for a while. And in that exile, this is when things like Krump Kings were built and the DVDs came out. I had to work. I wanted to build my own industry to where everybody could come up. Everybody could get their hands on something. Togetherness and team, real unity. Not, I hate these people, so I'm going to unite to take down this person. That's not real unity. And that never gets any results. Really take a team and try to create an industry. And I did. We did. My little homies, my fams, overseas, in the US, we created a Krump system and an industry where people are looking for us. We don't even need nobody to hire us. I can go overseas without a tour. I had my own tours. I made my own tours because I had nowhere else to go. I couldn't work in the industry. I was blackballed. And what are you going to do? Are you just going to lay down and die? You're going to go kiss the butts of the people that tried to blackball you just to get a crumb from the table? That's not me. I'm Krump. I'm not going to take no for an answer. You might kick me. You might put me down. You might, try to delay me. But okay, we'll strategize and we'll get around it. So I left the industry because it's evil. I didn't want to be there. I was around people I didn't want to be around. It wasn't godly people. It was stuff with money. I did not want to be a part of it. You cannot win. And if you're not knowledgeable of it, and if you don't have the money or the power, they will destroy you, take you of all your energy and throw you out. How many video girls have there been? How many booty video girls have there been? How many new choreographer faces have there been? It's the same cycle. It's deadly. It's evil. And you'll get your shine for a minute, but then the price you pay is a little bit crazy. So after I made the Krump industry, we have Krump Kings, we're flying out, we got crews, we got stations, you got Street Kingdom Japan and Street Kingdom this, East Coast Street Kingdom, ESK. So I'm trying to create a industry of our own because some Krumpers could not do choreography. We were some of the few that could Krump and do choreography and even make Krump choreography. The industry has not till this day seen true essence of Krump because they haven't been looking at the true essence of Krump. They've been looking at people who will mix and match to fit in for the Joneses. There were things that were done. So I know people like, man, you too biased. Little C was on So You Think You Could Dance. I found out the industry is not about talent. It's about who you know. He had the Nep Squad on there, and this was T-Fly, which was one of my little homies, Deuce, one of my little homies, and this guy named Britty. He was really fresh, and they had a good performance, but that was just like a come out. I had to do ABDC because if we're going to put it out, we're going to put it out. Little C was the first to put a squad in that position, but they were freestyling. They weren't really doing the choreo. So I went on ABDC. After they said I couldn't do it, I remember sitting down with Little C, Bad News. They didn't want us to go. They said we didn't have the right team. We made it anyway. This is what is always happening. He did that. It really didn't do much for Krump, and it was more of like a bragging rights thing. Like Hollywood gives you this, yeah, I did this, and I danced by Ceasare, and I did, man. That don't mean nothing, especially not to Krump. It means nothing. It has no value. Krumpers are the value of Krump, not a celebrity. Celebrities don't get value to Krump, and they don't give value. They're taking more from you than you could ever imagine. So this is my experience. And you say, oh man, it ain't like that. It was like that when I was coming up. They was laughing us out of auditions. Do you know I had to audition for Krump? I had to audition to be a Krumper. This is not a false story. This is a true story. They asked me to audition. They don't know anything. They're just following the script. These people are just being manipulated by the higher ups. You have no knowledge of anything, or you've heard misinformation. Like you really got us auditioning for, you're looking for Krump. You're looking for us. We're here. What do you mean? But it let me know. See, this is deceptive. You think that you do all this work and people care. People don't care. They just want to do what they want to do. They want to get their money, man. Either it's about God or it's about money. I'm a firm believer in that. You can't move me off that. I've seen too many instances. The industry is about that dollar. You bring the money, you're welcome. You effing up the money, we got to destroy you. They just couldn't destroy me. ABDC was a challenge, but it was an eye-opener. It let me know that more is possible because we had to do it against odds. And the people that claim that they're so supportive and so welcoming and so together, they was telling us, you can't, which is why I wanted to do it. Because I'm like, you said I can't? That's a telltale sign because you're a liar. It's like, I'm not going to trust what you say. You just don't want nobody taking your spot. We have the Krump movement built. Now, the people that were in Hollywood, Prissy and Lil C, they kind of stayed in Hollywood and they was trying to, pull rank and make themselves seem like they was better than everybody because, they was having this success in Hollywood. And for a minute, it was like that. And I used to get angry because they used to come talk about us down at the bottom. Oh, y'all just Krump. Oh, you labbing 8 hours a day. You ain't getting no money. You stupid. Oh, all your little homies, y'all dick riders. To try to make the people that was supporting and rocking with me seem like there was something wrong because they wanted to do it Tighteyex way and Tighteyex group and follow God. So it's evil. It's evil. It's good versus evil. It's always been like that. Always going to be like that. But something strange happened. It seems like the industry that they were in just ran its course, dried up. Now look where they at. They back in Krump, trying to claim. This is after years of hiatus. Years of, I thought I was going to make it in the industry. This is what always happened. You back in Krump because something happened with that money. You ain't making enough money. Now you about to go teach workshops. Now you about to have a workshop program. Something you laughed at, something you frowned upon, but you claim to create, but you're laughing at it, trying to one-up it. Now you're back and you got to get into the flow. You got to be accepted by the people. The industry then spit that ass out. And this is what's happening right now. When they were on the high horse, it was fun and games, it was cool, and it was just themselves. When that machine spit them out, they landed right back where they started. And if they don't do it my way or the God's way, it's going to be the money way. They're going to call Krump all types of things. Hip hop is just the new thing. It's their only hope to make money. Everybody's trying to monetize off of everyone. So that's what it's about. That's what the whole world is about. The industry is nothing but sex, money, and death in a loop. I wanted to create an industry of prosperity, Krump, God. So I had to start from the bottom. And now people are eating off that industry that hate me. So it's like you can't get away from the evils in the world. You could try to do all you can, but you can't get away. As long as you're on this earth, you will experience these type of evils. I did not handle it right, but who knows if I was right or wrong. But I left the industry because of my beliefs. I left the industry because it was fake. The people in it, the people I was with were fake. They were making it seem like that was the only way I was going to work because if I didn't take this route, I wasn't going to be nothing. And some Krumpers think that working in the industry is the creme de la creme. It's a gateway to destruction. And I'm glad I got out. 20 years in the making, and here we are. And the truth is finally going to be spoken.